I want to talk about a video I posted last year. And it was like my first video for 2024 where I pretty much just talk about like the way in which I want my channel to go and just like the changes on my channels and the videos that I had posted in 2023, and it was like a recap. So I kind of want to speak on that video because I noticed that I had a couple of comments where people wanted me to like spill the tea on why I stopped dancing in the clubs, like strip clubs and stuff like that. So I'm going to address it here and now. So to pretty much sum up the reason to why I stopped stripping is one, it just wasn't in alignment with me anymore. So let me rewind even further. So back in 2019, I was working in post-production and I was just pretty much paying my bills. Like, all my bills were always paid, but I had no extra money to do anything else. And I decided like I couldn't live this way anymore. So I was like, okay, then I either want to do bottle service or I want to dance in the strip clubs. Then obviously 2020 happened, COVID happened, and no clubs were open. So it completely forced me to not being able to dance in the clubs. So that's where my pole journey began, and I started pole dancing in my apartment because I bought a pole. And then it just did a 360 where I did music videos, I went on tour, I did live performances and stuff like that. So then I want to say around 2022, I was like, well, I want to try this. I want to see what, dancing in the strip clubs are really like. And I gave it a shot in California. My experience in California, and I talk about it no, I took down all those videos. I'm sorry. Like, I took down all of my baby stripper vlogs. And I'll explain why I did that. But in a lot of my blogs, I talk about how California is just really a terrible place to start your stripping journey, especially if you are a petite black girl like myself. And I feel like if you have a BBL or if you're light skinned, you will succeed out there. But being someone of my body type, it was not doing super great unless I went to point blank period. Let me just get to the moral of the story. I disliked my experience, and even though I got into clubs, I think it was very telling that it just wasn't for me. I already have social anxiety, but I will admit that I learned so much from the journey. So I'm going to speak on the positive matters. I met so many amazing women. I met so many amazing goddesses. I learned so much about myself, and I learned so much about like getting what it is that you want. You know what I mean? Using your feminine energy and all that and more. Like, I learned so much. I talked to many different peoples of walk of life, and it really just allowed me to learn how to regulate my emotions and my feelings, and also kind of going numb, which wasn't a good idea. But I was trying to figure out, what I was doing and how to go about this journey. Ultimately, you know what I'm saying, it was something that I wanted to start and explore in, to the point where it became like the only way that I was able to actually like kind of live and pay my rent and pay my bills. There was no like bag that I made from it. I talked about this, like I still have my like vlogs on when I did like performances and stuff on my channel, because I made like a bag from that, like I made plenty of bags of going on tour, doing music videos and performances and stuff like that. I've made plenty of bags from that. But I honestly do believe if I may have started my journey in New York or on the East Coast, I think I would have had a better experience. But it was just me, and I didn't really have friends. I did meet, funny enough, as I was like towards the end of my stripper journey, I met a friend. Well, I knew her because she invited me to her house for a party. And then I went to one of the clubs and she was there, and I was like, what the fuck? And we, what I also enjoyed too, the positive side of it, is like pretty much every club that I went to, somebody knew me, which was kind of weird at the same time. But I was like, whoa, it made it clear to me that I have really had an impact on people, that like people recognized me, which was so crazy. But anyway, with that being said, so I'm gonna get into the topic of why I took down all those videos. The reason that I took down a lot of those videos is because I no longer feel like it is in alignment with who I am, who I'm becoming. Not even who I'm becoming, I already am. It doesn't align with my channel anymore. And to be honest, I feel like I had this conversation with my angels, with my guides, and it made it very clear to me that one of my videos, funny enough, was taking off before I took it down. And I had to make a hard decision, and it was like, do I want to take this? Because of course I was like at 1,000 hours and stuff like that. I think it was at 1,200 hours, and I knew if I took down all these videos, I was going to lose a lot of hours on YouTube, but I said I do not give a fuck. I do not care. My whole point on this channel and this journey is to grow a community. When I get monetized is when I get monetized, you know what I'm saying? But I want it to be authentic, I want it to be genuine, and I want it to be who I am in this current moment, you know? And it's not to sit here and say that those videos weren't valuable, but there was a few things that was happening. For some reason, I can't remember exactly, it was probably my last video. My last video that I had posted was getting on the wrong side of YouTube, and for some reason, all these fucking shit-ass men were commenting, and they were very negative comments. And I'm like, this isn't even for you. So anyway, I just feel like the universe, God, will always push something to make you kind of get rid of it. And that was kind of it for me, where I started seeing all these negative, not that I was really affected by it, because I'm like, listen, I'm gonna make this very clear. I don't give a fuck about what an ain't shit man that has no business doing here has to say about me. I have no fucks to give. So it just irritated me more than anything. But the fact that it was going to the wrong place, I was like, you know what, take it down. So that's the major reason to why. But also the other major reason is because it's no longer who I am currently. Now, not to say that I do want to post it somewhere else, and I have thought about posting it on my Sunroom. And if you don't know anything about Sunroom, it is an app where you can really authentically be yourself. And the great thing about the app is it's like, if you want to post, you know, you cursing, maybe even showing some cleavage and nips or whatever, you can do it on there. It's not like OnlyFans, like, you know what I mean? It's an app where it's like you can share, you know, stories that has to do with like intimacy and be very vulgar if you want to. It's accepting to that. So that's where I'm kind of thinking I want to post it. But at the moment, I don't know, you know, because that's another platform that I have to like put work into, and I just kind of don't want to right now. But we'll see, because I know the videos that I do have are very valuable and it has great information in them and stuff. But yeah, I think just right now, I'm just gonna keep them archived for now. It's just no longer in alignment, and it's because it was going to the wrong place. And I was irritated and I was annoyed, because the other reason that I was annoyed about it is because a lot of people were subscribing for that content as well. And I don't create that content anymore. You know, I'm not in the strip club. So I was like, whoa. And the views were going up. I think one of the videos it had like 2,000 views. And then within a month and a half, it grew like another 2,000 views. And it kept growing each and every day. And I was like, yeah, I got to take this out. Before, not saying that it would have hit 100K or 10,000 views or whatever the case is. It was just like, of course it would be something. But again, the universe and God works in ways, you know what I'm saying, to put something in your face to be like, hey, sure about this? So that was my decision. And I know it was the best decision that I could have chosen for myself, because ultimately this direction that I'm going right now on my YouTube channel, I feel like I'm myself. I feel at peace. I feel happy with the content that I'm creating. Not to sit here and say, well, I will be honest, like during that time, let me keep it real with y'all. During that time when I was also in the strip clubs, it was hard. I was going through a hard period in my life during that time. And that's not the reason to why I took it down. It was more so like, I posted it because I wanted to share it with people and to help them on their journey, and like to be overall relatable, you know what I mean? To see if am I the only one experiencing this? And that's the whole point of content, I feel like. Well, not for everybody, but at least for me, I'm like, this is a journey, you know? And am I the only one that's going through this? Am I the only one feeling this way? And that's why I posted it. But also at the same time, I was going through a really hard patch in my life. I was struggling in every which way. And ultimately, I'm home now. And that was about 2 years ago, I would say, almost. I posted those videos in 2023, but a lot of those videos were recorded in 2022, a little bit of 2023. But yeah, bro, like it was one of those things that I was just like, this was the journey, and I no longer resonate with this version of myself anymore. And on the bigger scale of myself, of the future version of myself, I'm like, you know what? I see the bigger picture for my channel. I see the bigger picture for myself. And right now, period, this does not align with who I am. So that's why I took it down. And ultimately, that's the reason to why I stopped dancing in the club. It just wasn't for me. I didn't have the experience that I felt like a lot of girls do, but I feel like, everybody's experience is different. And, again, it wasn't entirely negative. It was positive in a lot of ways. It made me learn, ultimately, it made me learn so much about myself. And even where I am now, like, I use those skills that I learned in the strip club even today. And I'm really, really grateful and proud of myself for that. But with that being said, I hope this, video is helpful in some way. I hope it answers some questions to you goddesses as well. You know what? I'm going to touch on this as well, too, when it comes to pole. So there's a lot of things that are changing currently when it comes to, like, my pole journey overall. Pole is a huge part of my life, and that is not going to change. But I will sit here and say what might change is it might be more so something that I might do more so for myself than kind of show on this channel as much as I used to. We'll see how it goes, because like pole to me, like I started as a hobby, and I kind of want to build a better relationship with pole with myself, but kind of not recording it. And since I'm not on Instagram, I think it's going to be a little bit easier for me to do that, because I'm not worried about creating content for, Instagram anymore, because I'm deleted it and I don't know when I'm going to come back, but I'm going to be going for quite some time. But with that being said, I just have to sit here and say that pole is not going anywhere when it comes to my fitness journey, but I will say that there are going to be massive changes. I don't know what 2025 has instilled right now, but all I know is I'm going to do everything that feels right to me, and that's all there is to that. So I love you goddesses, and I will check y'all in the next video. Bye.